Sorry for being late with the dev diary video, but remember, I just released a 1000th video that I've been working on for the past 2 weeks. That's why this is a bit late, but worry not, we've got plenty of cover, because there's gonna be a new mission tree for Byzantium, many of negative modifiers making it much challenging and harder, new idea groups for the whole Byzantium, as well as some new government reforms. So let's get straight to this. So you might know that when the U4 was released 10 years ago, it was released with a Purple Phoenix mini DLC for the, I think, pre-purchase pack. And this mini DLC, since the actual mission trees were created, it was giving plenty of missions for Byzantium, but they mostly focus on conquest. That's why we're about to see something much better. What we are starting with is that there's gonna be a bit of a change on the borders, because Byzantium is gonna release Bessarabia for them. Some small cosmetic changes like a boost to your air, which is actually nice, higher autonomy on the Moria state because of the historical stuff, and adjustments to ideas. Let's take a look at this. So the normal modifiers is what they are doing now, and with hashtag we've got old ideas. So they used to start with tolerance of the true faith. Now it's advisor cost and improve relations, really nice. Then we've got as a finisher tolerance of the true faith instead of prestige, so it's a nice change. Then we've got global goods price modifier 10% instead of merc maintenance. 25% cooperation cost Byzantium Roman Empire. Instead of manpower and goods price modifier, we've got missionary strength and yearly party authority. This is really nice instead of tax meta. We've got reform progress growth instead of stability cost, local defensiveness instead of trade power, discipline, and global manpower instead of missionary strength. These are really nice bonuses, especially if you want to play wide, conquer everything, restore the Roman Empire borders, and convert everything to orthodoxy. I love it. Military-wise, it's mediocre, but you cannot have everything. Now, intentions for Byzantium, because in Byzantium it really used to be an impossible start, or at least super very hard, but since a longer period of time, it's easy. Like, it's really easy. If you know strategy, Byzantium is super easy, which I showed in my 1.35 guide. So the goal of some of the changes that we'll see is to make it much harder in 1444, but if you survive, you're gonna get more than with the old mission tree. So let's take a look at that. First of all, we start with privileges that make your life a nightmare. It's missionary strength versus heretics, it's tolerance to faith -4, decrease alien armies addition, reinforced speed, assault fault efficiency, morale of armies -15%. How are you supposed to win with Ottomans with that? Trade efficiency and global trade power decreased. And I forgot, guys, the worst one. Definitely the worst one. Shipbuilding time, not 10%, not 50%, 200%. I mean, that destroys completely, I don't think, the last 10 patches of strategy for Byzantium. Which is cool. We need to find a new strategy, and I absolutely love it. This can be removed mostly through the decisions, so I assume you can't do it really in 1445 to deal with the Ottomans, but we'll see about that. So within 3 months into the game we can get events for Union of Churches. That's either a privilege that can cause sporadic revolts of the Orthodox. So it's gonna give us some bonus from the Pope, I assume, or we revoke it and we make Pope hate our guns. Oh yeah, there it goes, because if you keep this privilege, you can trigger the following events if you're in a defensive war against the Ottomans. So what it's giving? I don't want to spoil this part, as this should be the rather experience in your own playthrough, but a little teaser. The second option allows a very different religion path for the Byzantines. I assume it's Catholic, right? I assume you're gonna get something huge. In exchange you have to switch your religion, which seems fair and it might be worth testing. Because you can switch back to Orthodox later. Easily, right? Another one that can give you tons of money, but you can revoke one of these privileges, but it costs you trade efficiency for 30 years, global trade power, mercenary cost. Oh yeah, that hurts, but might be worth to revoke the privilege. So one of the events Byzantium is receiving, it seems to be for the Ottomans, which causes 100 ducats, And so it's on the other side of the Bosphorus. And it's giving hostile fleet attrition. So is it making it even harder for Byzantium? Because the Byzantines gets an event, lose 1 stability. Kojaeli gets hostile fleet attrition. Oof, oof, oof. Campaign to Thessaly gives us 1 mill point for ruler. And not bad general, but still you can get better from Mercs. You lose 150 mill points, but you get siege ability for 10 years. At the same time, Ottomans might mount a primitive expedition, causing the following to happen. Ottomans lose mill points, and Moria, yeah, I don't plan to keep a fort in Moria anyway, probably. What? The fall of Constantinople can change your country to Moria? Episode that might be the OP buff to get saved, but yeah. If there weren't enough challenges for Byzantium, there's also new government form for them, Byzantine autocracy. Yeah, you have pretender rebels each time the new rule ascends to the throne, which is anyway happening through most of the cases, right? Through events. So now it's just a strict part of your government. Let's get straight to the mission tree. So you guys probably already assumed, yes, Byzantium is gonna have the biggest mission tree of 1.36 Kings of Kings DLC. 55 missions. I absolutely love it. Obviously the whole main theme of the mission tree is to restore the Roman Empire. But how do you achieve that for these missions? Well, this mission tree has 6 different parts. One defensive part around Theodosian Wars and pretty much defending from the Ottomans. A big path about conquest in general. A small trade part, internal playing tool I call it, so internal infrastructure part. The military and admin aspects of the empire is also a bit internal matters, and finally the religious part. Let's take a look at it. So we'll start with the conquest path, which is in most of the case, as they say, similar to the old mission tree. So you conquer something, you get new claims. You conquer these claims, you get new claims. But besides that, it seems that they added a scaling modifiers. So for each mission you're getting a new modifier. So you start with, stab cost modifier and gov capacity, very small, but then over time you get better and better modifiers, and you can also have choices between some temporary modifiers, like cooperation cost. I love it together with the national idea. It's 35% in total, or aggressive expansion impact if you really need that. And then it's merged into a finisher where you can in total get 300 gov capacity from this path, 2% missionary strength, yearly prestige, more of armies, more of navies, and stability cost. Absolutely love it. But you have to go and survive first before you get all of these bonuses. It's not gonna be that easy. That's one of the rewards. There's some other stuff also happening, like changing a culture to Greek in Shugla, slowly converting cultures to Greek or Pontic within Anatolia. More perma claims, even more perma claims. Oh, there's something about Greekos in Italy. Oh, again, changing culture in southern Italy and gaining some development there. Well, there's Rome in the Roman hands. So I assume once you regain Rome into yourself, you'll enable the Justinian's Empire decision, allowing us to adopt the Eastern Roman Empire name once we have conquered enough provinces. On top of that, power projection that is permanent, and double chance to gain conqueror trait. And I think that I've seen... Yeah, that's here, Eastern Roman Empire. There's also the color changes, not only the name. And it seems like for the first time, I don't know, since forever they're changing the decision to restore the Roman Empire. So it used to be, specific regions and specific provinces you had to conquer. Well, now within the chosen area, so that's actually more provinces than it used to be. Within this chosen area, you have to conquer 425 provinces out of 475 highlighted. So according to this, it's on one hand, it's a bit easier because you don't have to go and specifically take London, specifically take Vienna, specifically take Cairo or something in Egypt or Tunis. But instead of that, you just have to take 425% in total from 475 provinces that are available, which according to what they're saying is actually more provinces than it used to be. Just you can choose which provinces you want to conquer. Then you have small missions around the walls of Constantinople. So the hexamilation wall can you can move the castle from Moria, which is useless, to Corinth, which might be much more useful. And we can unlock a decision to rebuild the Hexamillion War. The second option is to upgrade the Theodosian walls, which will be 25% less expensive. We've got the decision repair the Theodosian walls and defensive mentality event, which has also 3 options. One is request funds from the Serbians. Serbians are gonna pay for the walls. Depending on the attitude, opinion, and a bit of flag, we can get up to 250 ducats. Second option is we lose 2 tax, but in exchange we're getting until the end of the game 10% defensiveness and garrison size. Might be very useful to siege raise the Ottomans. And third option, gain prestige. Yeah, that's it. Then we get defense in depth. So it's 10 army tradition. I assume all of these missions are about preparing you for the war against the Ottomans. That's my only assumption. So we have 3 alternative rewards. We either get mercenary cost and discipline, if you do it through merit companies. If you do it for army size, we get morale of armies and manpower recovery. We still get minus 15 from a privilege. Or through the walls, you can get additional 10% for defense. So even better for the siege races. So maybe siege race would be the strategy for Byzantium. But yeah, it would be hard. We have some trading missions, which can give us a good advisor, additional advisor cost, or support for Renaissance to just get it faster. Well, how about the internal development infrastructure missions? So playing toll part of the mission tree. The Byzantine merchants regain prominence can give us doubling ship trade power from a privilege. That's nice. Or 7-1% loans instead of 5. Also nice. Or at a free enterprise, it's not giving us also influence and loyalty, but also trade efficiency. It doesn't take absolutism, and I believe it was taking 10 absolutism. So remember, when you take 1% loans privilege, I believe it takes 1 mercantilism, so it's not gonna happen anymore. And you can get galley compatibility or trade efficiency. Good choice. Then we've got, that's lots of modifiers here. City of the War's Desire, obviously. Constantine gets their tax building upgraded, production building upgraded, manpower building upgraded, and modifying at the end of the game province governing cost and local governing increase cost. But you pay minus 99% as a capital, don't you? Byzantium gets centralized all wealth until the end of the game, giving the following effects. Can concentrate development with no losses. Lovely. And you can unlock expand the Bosphorus tolls. This is allowing you to expand the system of tolls on the passage through Bosphorus. So you take money for people passaging it. I'm wondering how it's gonna work. Then we've got the Royal Purple, which gives you stab cost modifier, splendor, and most importantly, changes your map color to Roman Empire. So there's a new privilege also for Clericoi, which I assume is clergy from the name. So if you have 33 at party authority, you get translated to faith, legitimacy, and autonomy change, but you lose yearly party authority. Constantly gets tax building upgraded, and you enact tier 1 guarantee form for the reformed Byzantine monarchy, which gives you paranoia subjects. I assume we're gonna talk about it a bit later. I assume you don't take the rebels anymore, and you get culture conversion costs, yearly absolutism, yearly yes to separatism, and monthly autonomy change. Corporation autocephaly will give every Orthodox country with the clerical minister's privileges, we get +1 to translated to faith. Might be nice for multiplayer, especially just with friends. And Byzantium will also see the yearly party authority from the privilege increase to +1. So you're losing 1 here and you're getting 1 here. Gain 25 flat, 30 opinion of every Orthodox country, and diplomatic annexation of Orthodox countries will no longer incur diplomatic reputation penalty. Well, you don't take anyway because you have a free privilege from nobility. Restoration of the Patriarchy is gonna get to Constantinople, seat of the Patriarch, which is local death cost, yearly tax income, local tax modifier. Antiochia, Al-Quds, Iskandria, and Roma will also receive this modifier, and you enable hold an ecumenical council decision. In order to strengthen this cohesion of Eastern Christianity, we should call upon the patriarchs and all bishops to convene into matters of faith. And what's giving? Power points, missionary strength, entrusted to faith, stability, stab cost, or party authority and yearly party authority. Shouldn't it be like more countries get this modifier as well? Maybe it could be something like Emperor of China, where emperors get one modifier and the other Orthodox countries are getting another modifier. Mending this case is gonna give even more party authority. There should be a way to spend your party authority on something, because it's so like in around early mid game you can get it to 100 and then you just keep it on 100, right? So some way to invest this party authority into some modifier I think it will be really cool. There was a privilege, just taking one yearly. So maybe going this direction would make it worth to spend the Patriarch Authority on something instead of keeping it at 100 all the time. And part of this decision is also every Catholic will be prompted to convert to Orthodox. Nations who are our rivals, they will not convert. The manning will be significantly more difficult, though, as you must ensure that 300 provinces in Europe are Orthodox. Easy peasy. Finally, let's go into military and administrative decisions. Just standard, they give you bonuses to your navy, plus 10% combat ability to galleys. A new mechanic added for Byzantium, which is Pronoia. So the Pronoia system. So the nations with Pronoia available will be able to convert their vassals and client states into a new type of subjects, the Pronoia. The idea of the subject type is to provide military support during your wars. Pronoia subjects get military bonuses and do not cost diplomatic relations slot, but are very limited by new modifier number of Pronoias. So you get +1 limit per every 100 for force limit, so it's not that easy to get in single player, and +2 for reform the Pronoia system, and +2 and 4 for the different missions. So what they are getting? We're losing 5 force limit, but they're getting 10% force limit, 25% manpower and sailors, a regiment cost, manpower increase flat, national manpower modifier, but coring might be a bit harder for them, so it's good to establish them once they're actually big and strong, but since that's they cannot be more than a hard development looking at this. So apparently if you click to retract right of the inheritance, the Pronoia will be annexed on the monarch's death. So they were saying you can annex every Byzantine subject below 100 development for free without any diplo points and time. I mean, time is just the death of the monarch. That's nice. So you can, let's say, have 4 subjects at the same time, and each of them might be annexed like that. Once you survive Byzantium, the gameplay might be really nice. The theme system, which used to be a flat modifier from just clicking the mission, here now we have branching missions. And the event themata gives you state maintenance, empowering the primary and accepted cultures, and will grant 10% force limit. Nice. So the branching missions will have either a standing army build or a mercenary build. That is feudal. So let's see. First one is the centralized mission tree. So it's all of these bonuses, the Varangiers. First, let us begin with the standing army build. With this decision, you'll be able to take stricter control over the Pronoia subjects that you have, opting for the quality. You can decide on the bonus they're gonna have. Inheriting a Pronoia gives Crownland. I love it. Our Pronoia will get +3 yearly army tradition, or our Pronoia subjects will get 5% discipline. I love each one of this. A mission about the Varangians is allowing you to bring them back, making you Lord of Varangian. And the final mission gives you a bit more firepower to troops and make them cheaper. So 10% on fire damage and maintenance modifier. Let's see the other branch, which is called decentralized, but it's about the mercenaries. So it's some below the theme system, all of this. So you can get a limit of Pronoias, we can make it +4. Pronoia subjects might not reduce Byzantine force limit, it's just 5 per each, so it doesn't matter. To make it more worth, this option, you could change it from no longer reduce Byzantine force limit, but instead of taking 5 force limit, it should give you 5 force limit, or even 10, or even maybe something more. So -5 is not much. It depends on the stage of the game, of course. I'm more looking at mid-late game than early game. Maybe it should be percentage, you know, to scale of the game, because flat 5 is a lot very early game, nothing mid-late game. Pronoia subjects will receive extra 5 force limit instead. And the final mission gives you 50% mercenary manpower and 5% mercenary discipline. Next week we'll see Georgia, Armenia, and the Kuyunlus, Akuyunlu and Karakuyunlu. And finally, that's the best part of this dev diary. A new comic coming from the Father Lois, which is showing that Byzantine update, details of the new Byzantine content dropped today on YouTube. Byzantine Guide Money. And look, this is Aldrahil, this is Leif from Social Streamers, this is Red Hulk, this is Showishot, and I believe this is us with the old hat. Okay guys, if you did enjoy this dev diary and you'd like me to continue next week with the one about Georgia, Armenia, and Kuyunlus, please leave a like to get this video to more people, to make them happy about the upcoming update, and of course subscribe to the channel to get notified about this content. Bye!